Look, I know there was a lot of fights that were robberies. However, these were not the robberies we were talking about. I don't understand how you guys scored these fights the other way, because there's literally no other way the decision would have went. So let's get started. Starting off the list, Mozart Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. That was a clear decision for Evloev. Did Aljo do a lot better than I thought he would? Yes, he did tremendously. He did well in the grappling. He did a lot better in the grappling I thought he would. The feet, not so much. That's where he kind of lost it against Evloev. Evloev kept it busy. He kept trying to throw strikes, even when he was getting taken down. He did a little bit more than Aljo. Like, I don't understand how you score it for Aljamain Sterling past round one. Like, Aljo did pretty good in the first round. Kind of did whatever he wanted with Evloev. But other than that, round two, Evloev started landing some strikes. And again, it was those little pitter-pass shots that kind of won him the round. And Aljo didn't do any damage. That was a big problem in that fight. Like, I didn't understand how people scored it for Aljamain Sterling. Like, I can't give him round two. I can't give him round three. So how does he win the fight? Like, I know people don't like Evloev, but like, you can't be biased now. Like, other than round one, you can't give it to Aljo, and I stand on that. Like, there's literally no way you can't give it to Aljo. Unless you're biased and you're showing favoritism, then there's no way he gets that decision. Anyways, moving on to the next one. Ian Gary versus Bilal Muhammad. You know how many people actually believe Bilal won the fight? Generally, if you believe Bilal beat Ian Gary, you should get your eye tested, and also you should never score a fight in your life. Like, I know some people troll and say Bilal won and stuff, but like, people that actually believe that, like, it gotta be biased, because that's the only way you could give it to Bilal. Like, Bilal did well. I'm not gonna lie, he did a lot better in the striking than I thought he would, but to say he won a round in that fight is kind of crazy. You could maybe give him round two and that's it, and that's pushing it. Like, there's no way you give Bilal a victory in this fight. Like, Bilal did better than I thought he would on the feet, but he didn't really get the grappling off. Ian Gary was landing his shots, especially on the back foot, leg kicks, body kicks, even front kicks. Like, there was really not a lot from Bilal other than a little bit of boxing here and there, and he'll catch Ian Gary, but it was nothing insane for him to win the round. Like, I don't get it. I really don't. Like, I generally believe some people just score off of feeling alone, or you just want a guy to win, because I don't think a lot of people know how to score fights. It's damage-based scoring and how many strikes you land. Well, not how many strikes you land, how many significant strikes you land, and how effective you are. Like, Bilal wasn't as effective as Ian Gary, sadly. Then again, I don't know, sadly, because like, I don't really care for either of them. I like Bilal more as a personality, so I was kind of rooting for Bilal, but at the same time, I wasn't the biggest fan of Bilal, so yeah, it was a clear scorecard. I don't know how people gave Bilal even a round. It was a clear 3-0 from Ian Gary, in my opinion. You could maybe give Bilal round two, but other than that, you can't give him a round, so. Now moving on to the next one. Arman Tsarukyan versus Charles Oliveira. All of a sudden, we don't want to score damage. I thought it was damage-based scoring your scorecards. All of a sudden, when Charles Oliveira is like trying to go for submission attempts, we scored that more than damage. Especially in round two, Arman Tsarukyan was landing big shots. But then again, nobody's arguing he won round two. But round three, like, it was kind of clear Arman, in my opinion. He was landing some shots. He did more in the round, especially when the Darce wasn't even that close to even getting locked in. Like, I don't understand, like, how people scored it for Oliveira. Like, at the time, I kind of understand. It was kind of close. Nothing really went on that much in round three. But Arman clearly won. He had more control. He landed the pitter-pass shots, and Oliveira didn't really do nothing but try to get that Darce, and he didn't even get it. I'm just saying, if it was any other fighter, you would say they won the fight. Just saying on that. Like, Arman Tsarukyan clearly won in my book, and if he was a different dude, everybody would say the same thing. But a lot of people ain't biased anymore, so, especially now, a lot of people like Arman Tsarukyan, so Arman clearly won that, and I don't know how people score for Oliveira anymore, especially now. I feel like a lot of people changed their tune now, but before, there was a lot of people saying Oliveira won, but what can you do there? Anyways, let's move on to the next one. JDM versus Kevin Holland. You know how many debates and how many people actually believe Kevin Holland? Well, I don't think they argue he won. They argue, oh, it was a close decision with Kevin Holland. It was not close. It was a clear JDM win. And if you actually watched the fight, there was no way you could get Kevin Holland 2 rounds or even a round, arguably. You could barely give him maybe, I don't know, maybe the second if you're looking at the stats. But other than that, like, he did not win that fight, or it was even close enough to even be a split decision. I don't know how it was a split decision because it was a clear JDM win. I literally scored it 3-0 JDM. Like, I don't know how people gave Holland a round. Like, yes, I know Kevin Holland like threw a bunch of strikes, but like he didn't land anything concrete. It was like pitter pat shots. Like, we're scoring pitter pat shots now, especially when JDM was like cracking them with big shots. Like, what are we talking about, man? What are we talking with JDM, bro? I don't know. I'm just talking now, but you get my point. Like, people generally scored it a split decision. Like, I don't get it. I don't know what round you guys gave Kevin Holland, but I didn't give him a round, honestly. Like, I didn't see him winning round 2. I didn't see him winning round 3 or round 1. Like, I don't know how you could give him a round, but I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but I really heavily doubt it, honestly, because I don't know how people gave him a round in that fight. Like, I know on paper it was close, but it was not when you actually watch the fight. But anyways, I digress. I'm gonna move on to the next one. Nick Diaz versus Carlos Condit. Look, I like Nick. He's one of my favorite fighters when it comes to the old heads, but he did not win that fight. I don't know how people scored it for Nick Diaz, especially, I don't know. I saw like a bunch of like edits of the fight and saying, oh, Nick got robbed. Nick won the fight. Like, what fight are you watching? Like, other than like round 3, you could maybe argue round 2. Other than that, it was a clear Condit win. If you want to be biased and give freaking Nick Diaz round 3 and 2, then you could, but even then, he still loses. It wasn't that close of a fight, and arguably wasn't even that competitive, in my opinion. It was competitive in moments, especially in round 3. He was kind of getting the Condit, but other than that, round 4 was a clear Condit, round 5 was clear Condit, and round 1 was clear Condit. Round 2 is a little debatable, but I thought it was clear Condit, but you could rob Condit there, but even the judges didn't even agree that he won round 2, so I'm just saying, like, there's no way he wins that fight, and I know it's cool to pretend like Nick Diaz just got robbed all the time, but he did not get robbed in that fight. Like, there's no way he wins that decision. Anyways, moving on to the last one, Volkanovski versus Islam Makhachev. We have to be for real now. Volkanovski did not win that fight. Like, I'm a big Volk fan, and everybody was a big Volk fan going into that fight, and everybody thought he was going to get dominated in 2 rounds, but no. He did pretty well in the fight, but he did not win that fight. It was 4-1 Islam. It was very clear scorecard. Like, even when I was trying to be biased and watch it, like, it was a clear Islam Makhachev win. Like, even when in round 5, I'm like, Volk, you gotta finish him. You need a finish. And then people started to scream robbery. I'm like, what? I was very confused. Like, even when I was trying to be biased, I didn't score for Volk. You could barely, maybe you could give him 2 rounds, but even then, that's just being biased. Like, it was a clear 4-1 Islam. You could argue one of the rounds that when Volkanovski got his back taken and he was just landing strikes, but he didn't do much other than land like those pitter pat shots. And let's be for real, that's not really significant. Like, I get it, like, Islam just had his back, but that's more of a dominant position than Volk just landing like pitter pat shots. Like, I'm a big Volk fan, but it was a clear 4-1 Islam, and that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you disagree on some of them, I would like to know which one. If not, thank you for agreeing. That's also very appreciative. Like, to me, that means I'm right. And who doesn't like being right? Anyways, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and God bless all of you.